Look, see, I remember when I met you as a sophomore. Started out as friends, but I knew that we would want more. Hit your favorite restaurant with your favorite dress on. That's one of my favorite memories that I've kept on the road with me. I know it's crazy how things change so quick. Went from rock bottom to all this fame and shit. But look, I couldn't love you, but I wished I could. Cause I got hurt and closed you off and you understood. But look, yeah, that's just blood on the leaves. The champagne tastes worse when it wasn't for free. That's why these thirsty bitches didn't come here with me. Move along, girl. This
Alright, here we are. Game 2. Take the Lantern versus Phoenix. Really excited to see where this runs off. We've had some suggestions for them. We'll see if they take that to heart or not. And we're all signaling that we're ready to go, so we should be jumping into the game in just a moment, unless they want to make me look bad again. Joining us still here for this next set is Nickel and Sig here on the analyst desk, and Jeff in the wings. You guys think the Phoenix can do it?
I mean, it's not a thought of if they can do it. It's a matter of if they are going to do it.
How deep? Proud of you, Nickel. It's good. Anyone else think that the momentum's going to be too good?
Go ahead, Sig.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Too kind. I think that the momentum was what got Phoenix going in the first place. So if they can switch that up, maybe let the momentum carry them into the late game, it can work in their favor. But take the Lantern. All the players prefer late game champions, so this is either going to be a repeat of Game 1 or maybe Phoenix will have learned from Game 1's mistakes.
Those are the two options, yes.
Very, very intuitive of you, yes.
Alright, so new bands. Nickel, you think we're going to get a new band here?
That's actually something I was going to touch on, is I'm curious to see what the bans are going to look like for this game. Because, I mean, do you take away the Vigor? Do you take away the new? And as I'm talking about this, it looks like that they're not, as they're just going for the typical ban phase they went for the first game. I mean, if it were me,
Your commands tire me.
that I agree with that. But now we're going. People stop drinking for the mid lane bans. I don't want anybody to die.
Ooh.
Oh, see, why would Phoenix ban the Anivia there? Ban something else and force Take the Lantern to ban the Anivia.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe they're not planning to have Hohenheim pick his champion for this first set. I don't know.
Assume not. Yeah.
Lantern's probably taken aback as well. They're planning on banning Anivia, and now they don't know who to get rid of.
I could see them trying to force Ace into the Rise pick.
But Ace typically only does Rise against someone like Anivia. So, we'll see. They are grabbing Hohenheim's Morgana, though. Ooh, and
Are they gonna take away the Jinx?
that'd be interesting. We haven't seen Andy on Jinx.
It's a bait. It's not going to be fun.
You think they're threatening? Like, boy, this is a cute Jinx you've got here. Be ashamed if someone took it away.
Oh, but we only have 3 seconds left to be right. Oh, Sig.
Oh!
I was with you though, man. I was right there with
maybe
you.
next time.
Give me that prophet hat. You don't deserve it anymore.
That is really interesting. So what they're saying there is they're more scared of Evil Envy on Jinx than comfortable with Andy on Lucian. Which is quite the message to send there, because I mean Lucian was completely available.
I'll repeat, Evil performed incredibly well. Van Hohenheim performed incredibly well. I think let's put them in maybe some better positioning with the Maya-chan. I think that's going to be the winning strategy here.
Ace probably picking that Xerath up, so that's a pretty early pickup for Ace. Typically he lets himself be more toward the middle end.
I like it because it's a comfort pick for Ace and also sort of a fourth ban against Alonzi, though.
Plus they already knew Morgana's, well, they're assuming Morgana's in the mid lane because of Hohenheim. So picking somebody who they feel good with. But then of course, I mean, Alonzi could theoretically flex Morgana.
And a Sipper.
Alright, if Phoenix's next two picks aren't tanks or off tanks, this is going to just be a repeat of Game 1. Might see the Thresh again. I don't think they'd ban Thresh, but we'll see. LNZ did do some good plays with him early game.
Yeah, absolutely. And without the Morgana Black Shield for Take the Lantern side, Thresh becomes that much more dangerous.
Alright, so all that's left are top and support picks, most likely. So, Nickel, are they banning Thresh here or no?
I don't think it was too much of a problem in the last game. It wouldn't be a terrible ban. It's just trying to get Alonzi to pick something he's not really used to. But yeah, I do agree with the Yorick ban. They don't want to deal with that in the top lane.
Oh, is Phoenix going to spend both
Are
of
they going to do Maokai Malphite?
They probably have to.
I would definitely give them props if they did. Make Darien show he can play something else.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm not necessarily comfortable with the Sejuani pick here. Because, you know, they'd already picked their jungle with Xin. Are they going to ban Sejuani? Maybe. But, you know, that way at least you have literally the cornerstone of your entire game plan is someone that Darien can be durable with in the top lane. So with the Malphite guaranteed ban here, I mean, do you think Darien plays someone like Nautilus then? Actually, let's talk about that real quick down the line. Jeff, who does Darien play?
Honestly,
2 seconds.
I think that I'm just thinking about it right now. I don't think Darien plays Nautilus.
Okay.
I don't think he has much experience on that champion, so I think this is a scary situation for Take the Lantern right now.
All right, Sig, who's Darien picking?
Darien is going to be picking a top lane carry, Darius.
Okay.
He plays Gangplank a little bit. Sorry to skip out of my turn there.
No problem. Nickel, who's he playing?
Well, I did hear that he plays Gangplank a little bit.
You heard that somewhere?
Yeah. It might have been 5 seconds ago.
Spoiler alert, sorry.
Alright, I like that they're waiting till last pick to pick him up, so that they have some idea about who he can sustain against.
A little bit of insider information from the chat. Looks like Darien has games with Nautilus and Shen and Poppy in practice this week.
Ooh, Ornn.
Okay.
Well, let's see what happens here. I
guess out of those 3 choices, I would expect the Shen.
I do like how Phoenix was listening to me with Ornn Leona.
Yeah, they did go with the tanks.
Stop listening to the stream, guys.
Sometimes you just need to ask, Kenos.
Alright. So, very tanky game here. Shen Sejuani and Ornn Leona. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting.
Hashtag Dr. Professor Prowler knows best.
Alright.
I'm especially happy to see this out of Phoenix because it wasn't just the lack of tanks, but it was the lack of backline access in the last game. Even with all of them going damage, no one could get to the Caitlyn. They have some people to get to the Jinx this time.
And Jinx is far less mobile as well.
Till that first kill, yes.
Well, sure, but I mean, even speed boosts and like Caitlyn's net are 2 different beasts.
Yeah, good point.
All right. So we'll do similar bounces here as we did last time. Sig, what do you think about this bot lane?
I think this is a pretty interesting bot lane matchup. With the utility that Soraka is going to be able to provide to this Take the Lantern team, paired with Shen, there's major safety. If I had to take these 2 lineups and really put it in perspective, this is like if OSHA played League of Legends. Nothing but safety. Strong tanks on Phoenix, 2 spell shields on Phoenix, global protection from Shen and Soraka. Both teams are support. This is definitely in my purview.
So, how's the bot lane gonna go?
It's going to go Jinx and Soraka.
Okay.
Sivir and Leona are absolutely wonderful. I love them individually, but I don't foresee the real damage potential as Soraka provides that constant damage and constant healing. It's going to keep Jinx in lane for days. Mana, you only use mana to poke with Jinx. It's occasionally a catch. No, you only have to worry about auto. Sivir has much more mana management issues.
That being said, to point out though, Soraka's spells are typically a little bit slower, so Sivir could easily feed off those with her mana shield.
It's a potentiality if she aims for Sivir.
And
Leona also is slower than a box of rocks and twice as dense.
True. And it does have Ignite, though, so that'll be interesting to help counter the Soraka. So LNZ might get some good plays off there. Jeff, top lane, will Darien be able to keep it slow like he has the last every game we've seen recently?
It's going to be a lot harder. Ornn is a very good champion at diving under turret, and then you add in a Xin Zhao to that. That's a very different type of element you have to worry about compared to the Nunu from last game. They certainly have the damage, the crowd control, the setup to dive this Shen over and over again. We hear the old adage, attack the global, and it rings even more true with this take the lantern style of play that they do every single time, and they seem to get away with it. Will Phoenix finally burn them?
Yeah, I mean that they have to focus on the top lane to do that, though, right? Because I mean,
absolutely.
there wasn't too much of the top lane. All right, and Nickel mid lane, Morgana Xerath. Ace picked the Xerath into the Morgana, so clearly he feels comfortable with it. Do you feel comfortable with it?
I mean, if I'm comfortable with it, Ace has to be comfortable with it. I mean, he's comfortable with it, so I'm comfortable with it. Enough of that. It's just one of those things. Compared to the last game, he had a champion that he just does not play that much. And going in his champ pool, he was probably thinking, well, what do I got? Xerath. Okay. I just got range. I mean, caster. Able to just, like, throw some dunks from downtown, able to get people from a mile away. Perfect. Going into a Morgana, though, I think it's going to be a hard laning phase for him, depending on how Hohenheim decides to play. And we do know that Hohenheim is a pretty good Morgana player in the mid lane. So I want to give this to Ace, but I feel like it's going to be an uphill battle for this.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of good black shields out of Hohenheim, especially on any sort of ganks that might happen. Ace might be too reliant on the stuns that Xerath brings to the table, and a black shield on a Xin Zhao is going to hurt him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens. Game 2. Big twist is going to be if Evil Envy's computer is settling loans at a reasonable rate. Alright, skins. Oh, there's Darien pandering to me with Yellow Jacket Shen. I see you. I do kind of like once again, kind of like the matching that Phoenix is going on, though. Ornn, Xin, Sivir, and Leona all kind of have similar flavor.
Yeah, with the armor and the coloring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'd give this one to Phoenix.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Sorry, Darien.
It
You tried.
didn't help him last time though. So maybe we're back in the curse of the skin wars. If I can chime in just for a moment on the bot lane matchup, I think everything that Sig said was correct. It's worth noting, I think it was a couple weeks ago, Take the Lantern had a very similar lane matchup, where it was Gregosaurus on a passive support against a Leona, and I think it was Leona Draven, and we were just talking about them needing to avoid getting double killed, initiated on in the early stage of the game. They got caught. They did give up a double kill to that Draven. They ended up winning the game anyways because that's what Take the Lantern does. They fall behind and then they find a way to win. But I think it'll be very crucial for them to avoid having that happen against this Leona with Ignite.
Yeah, the Ignite's going to be a very key player in this. Ignite and Black Shield are the two items we're really going to have to look out for. So we'll see what happens. Got to get lucky. You may not know he's on a ward here.
And they've seen 3 members now with that ward. A lot of information.
Hohenheim misses the prison. Ooh, that would have been big if he landed it.
Yeah, I think that might have ended up being a flash burn based on how many people were near there. Tardis misses the Zenith Blade, and that gives Ace the freedom to go in there and fire off another Arcano Pulse.
Oh, one
the bind.
Skill shot does land, but no one's around anymore to capitalize. Ace is willing to be greedy about it. Everyone's missing their skill shots.
And yet, we basically end up with even health on everyone. Amaya Chan and Darien, they're just going to hit each other a little bit, which skill shots required there. Although Ace does come in and hit him on the butt a little bit on the way out. Both junglers starting on the bottom side, as we've come to see.
Is Hohenheim baiting here? Is he actually going to go back?
Takes a big Q for his bait.
Not able to steal blue here. And Darien arrives to lane. Not down any CS yet. Oh, now he is.
Now, how proficient is Andy on this Jinx? I can honestly say I've never seen him play this character.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see him, how well he does on that. But on the other hand, if he does manage to go off, it'll be a real treat. Because, I mean, we've seen how good he is on characters that don't just get natural chasing abilities.
Absolutely.
So, we'll see what happens. Darien already down a couple of CS. Gotta get lucky, less harassed in his traditional pathing this time, so I'm sure he appreciates that.
Level 2 first, or take the Lantern's bottom lane.
And Nebulon going for this scuttle up here. We'll see if he goes for a gank right after this. I don't think he will. Darien's pretty safe. Ace is being really aggressive, though. Oh, here comes the first attempt at a gank. Nebulon taking a slightly long way around, but does get spotted by a good ward there.
Yeah, good job by Ace there. Makes sense that Amaya, or excuse me, that Nebulon did not immediately target that top lane because Amaya did not have the searing charge yet on Ornn for that added crowd control. Now he does.
A lot of poke coming out of Ace here. Got Hohenheim down to about a third health. Ooh, good root though.
And the Shocking Orb misses.
Hohenheim playing it really close. I think he's more than willing to bait out all of Ace's mana though. I mean, Ace has literally no mana now.
Here comes Nebulon again, but he has just run over this ward at least 3 times now.
Oh, but Ace is still a little too far forward. Binding does
land!
land!
He gets hit by the root. He is gone! Ace not respecting Nebulon and the aim of Hohenheim. Lands that crucial binding. Flash available for Ace, but didn't do it in time. Nice play from Phoenix to start things off.
Bot lane had a bit of a fight there, but managed to work it out, and Soraka's healing will definitely help here.
Ooh, nice boomerang there to catch on to Andy. The dangerous proposition right now for Take the Lantern, because you have the sustain of Soraka, but if Phoenix just jumps onto Gregosaurus himself, he does not have much in the way of survivability.
Yeah, and that's how that fight kind of started, was Stardust jumping onto Gregosaurus. So they gotta look out for that. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Darien's only down by a couple CS. But they're definitely playing, everyone's playing these lanes a little bit differently now. Much more aggression, well, I'd say actually probably about equivalent aggression coming out of Phoenix here. Deciding to go back.
We haven't seen any aggression in the bottom lane so far, which is where we saw all the action to begin the last game. Phoenix decided to go mid, and they found some fruit.
Yeah, I'm sure Ace is kicking himself after giving up that first blood like that. There was literally no reason to do that.
Especially with Flash available and knowledge of where Nebulon was, yeah, just maybe a little bit cocky there.
Now we see Darien falling behind. That's the stuff. I think he's a little too scared of where Nebulon is. There is some CS that he's missing just by playing it safe.
Oh boy, Tardis is walking forward, doesn't quite have the range on that Zenith Blade. Dap comes back and misses his nice dodge from Tardis. Gotta get lucky. Is near the bottom lane, but he would have to walk through a warp if he were to do anything. I think he'll get spotted getting the scuttle crab right there. And here comes Nebulon towards the top lane. Darien being very respectful, but Nightbot can be respectful enough. There comes the Forge God. It will knock him up. There is Nebulon jumping in. Good flash from Darien to get himself out. But that's a successful gank anyways on the side of Team Phoenix.
That was a good taunt through the ultimate. I'm just a little... I mean, obviously Amaya-chan can redirect the ultimate at will, but I'm surprised he didn't go up a little bit. Try to get out of it. Maybe wouldn't need to burn the flash, but I'm sure it would have been a similar situation. So there's that first gank attempt. Not quite able to pull it off. Ace had to go back again, grabbing his first real item, Lost Chapter. And while Sivir has gone back, Andy decided to stay in lane and is farmed up to 1,600 gold.
Oh boy, Gregosaurus is in a lot of trouble. Gets ignited, they will jump forward. And here comes Stand United, actually. So maybe a little miscommunication there. Darren does land the taunt. He gets onto TARDIS. The zap misses, though. And I think that Phoenix will be able to walk away from this. That's a big deal that Take the Lantern burned the Stand United there and didn't get anything out of it.
Did get both support flashes, though. Jinx still has her flash available. Evil Envy does not. So I think flash for flash is good enough. What's Darien gonna do? Fall further behind in CS? Oh no.
A nice call by Take the Lantern to have Gotta Get Lucky come up and hold this top lane wave now.
Yeah, Gregosaurus, you gotta get out of there. And hopefully that's what he's doing. Or not. That's fine.
Teleport actually burned by Darien there to get back to lane.
Alright, now they're going back.
And Nebulon, he's looking for a dive. Take the Lantern, nice decision there to recall, because that would have been a double kill, absolutely, if you had started those recalls 2 seconds later.
I wonder if they did spot that, though, so that they know where he is. That might give Darien a little more confidence in his hijinks. But we'll have to see. Giving Evil Envy a chance to catch up in that CS, though he is now very low on mana.
Blue buff steal from Nebulon here. Gotta get lucky. Doesn't quite get there in time. He is looking to fight this against a double buff Xin Zhao, who did get first blood. He lands the stun, but I'm not sure. Theirs comes right at the arcane, but the range isn't quite there. Zap also misses. Glacial Prison did land. Can Nebulon get out? Oh my gosh, Andy takes the blast cone. He is in so much danger now. He's just gonna get destroyed. Teleport from behind from a Maya-Chan. Call the Forge God is gonna pick off somebody as well. They get it onto Gotta Get Lucky. Flash forward. He gets the knockup on the Gregosaurus. Absolutely dead to rights is this Soraka. A great play from Phoenix.
This is a game
to push this early advantage again.
This is a game of missed skill shots, and we have seen that in spades here on both sides early on. So many missed shots from Andy's, Jinx. The Ace just out of range to pick off Xin. It just was not good. Ocean Drake coming out here.
Mixed calls there. There's the Ocean Drake. Probably not quite as good as the Infernal, but they'll absolutely take it. So early in the game, you can use that Ocean Drake to your advantage in the laning phase.
I wonder, it will be interesting to see how, because now they have, you know, a sustain dragon as opposed to an offensive dragon, and see how that helps their game plan. Darien not going with a similar rune page, so he's taking a lot longer to take down that turret. Jinx's death forced back for that, so it does have the BF sword now.
Yeah, you mentioned the missed zaps out of Andy. It makes you question a little bit this pick so early in the draft. Now, we questioned Ace on the Veigar last game, and that ended up working out just fine for Take the Lantern. So, never count me as one to doubt Andy's abilities as a late game AD carry, but right now, there are questions to be asked. And Hohenheim going in with the Soul Shackles forces the flash out of Ace.
Yeah, Ace relatively low. Ultimate is almost off cooldown. Ooh, nice poke there. Darien and Amaya noodle fighting in the top lane. Gregosaurus.
He is very far forward. He gets caught by the Solar Flare. I think he is absolutely dead to rights. Actually, a nice job from Andy to save him, but now he's going to get taken down. Actually, here comes Stand United. So many survivability tools. The last rocket comes out from Andy and does pick up the kill. It wasn't the Super Mega Death Rocket. It was just a regular one, but they do pick up the kill. A great turnaround there, even though I think Darien's Stand United got interrupted. The shield was so key there.
Absolutely. Love to see Shen plays like that. Not only that, but I mean, Sivir was not respecting, Evil Envy did not respect the splash damage from Jinx's rockets at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch. I'm not sure if that last auto attack actually landed onto Evil Envy or onto a minion.
It looked like it was a minion. It looked like it hit a minion and then just the corner of the splash damage killed him. I don't even know if Sivir intentionally walked into that or if it was just a misclick, but either way, that was a splash damage kill.
And that's a huge play, too. Anytime you're talking about a hyper carry like Jinx, giving her 300 gold that she shouldn't have gotten can be a big deal.
Alright, Noah Nebulon's up here. Gotta get lucky. Swoops in,
Oh,
plants a
boy,
ward.
gotta get lucky. Is behind enemy lines. He does see the bottom lane. So.
A lot of pings all over the place. Next dragon will be an Earth Drake. So other dragons reminding us they exist.
Darian has kept the CS pretty close, actually, up here in the top lane.
Yeah, despite almost leaving it twice.
Yeah, he has left it once and tried to leave it a second time, but stopped him.
Ooh, possible collapse here on Ace.
Gotta get lucky. He is in the wings with Glacial Prison available. And I don't think they've seen him, so could be a bit dangerous. No, they call off the dive. If there wasn't even a dive there in the first place.
Oh.
And we have a pause.
Alright, so while we're on this pause, let's take a quick look at how the game is unfolding here. Let's take a look at the gold count. We have a 200 gold lead, all in CS, mostly, from Orin here. We have a 700 gold lead from Zin, with those 2 kills helping him out quite a lot. Mid lane, 500 gold lead on Ace. But everyone's losing in the CS lead for Take the Lantern except for Andy.
Yeah, I really think it's interesting to see how things have transpired for Phoenix, because generally you want kills going on to laners, but when you have a jungler like Xin Zhao who is so powerful in the early game and can force the issue so much, having those kills on him is very beneficial. So it'll be interesting to see how Nebulon can translate that gold into more kills for his team in, say, the next 10 minutes.
A summoner has disconnected.
Oh boy, and actually,
Alright, so gotta get lucky having some
here.
technical issues, perhaps.
It was a pause from Take the Lantern.
So we'll see what happens here. Looking at over at the chat, Arcane Soda is hitting us up with fun facts that may or may not be historically accurate. Prowler providing his own narration. Appreciate that, Prowler. Helping us out. Alright, chat. At this stage of the game, who do you think is going to end up winning? Phoenix is in a very similar position to where they were in Game 1. They're up on kills. They're up on gold. Not up on towers yet, but they may get there soon. CS doing pretty well as well. Let's go back to items. No one really has a completed item yet. Got bits and pieces. I would like to see, how much gold does Shen have? Shen has 1500 gold. I'd like to see Shen go home and buy something more substantial than Bambi's Cinder. But we'll have to see. Alright.
Yeah, for me, it'll be interesting because we saw Phoenix have, you know, a similar, even larger lead, I think, last game. But I feel better about their composition actually being able to snowball the lead this time. You don't have a Nunu building full AP. You have backline access this time. You have the Sivir ultimate combined with someone like Leona who can get an easy fight created for your team. Phoenix actually has the tools to snowball this game this time.
Yeah, probably pointing out that Phoenix definitely has Engage. That will do
absolutely.
a lot of good pick ability. Very true as well. They have a lot of good knock-up tools and isolation tools. Arcane Soda saying we shouldn't count out Sen and Sejuani having their own Engage options though. So lots to look out for. But you know, two well-balanced teams in terms of their individual lineups. I am looking to see Take the Lantern possibly playing a little bit better against this Leona bot because they've been getting caught by her quite a lot.
Yeah, I think Gregosaurus has been a little bit too far forward a couple times, although to be fair to him, the time that we really saw him get caught out by that Solar Flare, Take the Lantern actually turned it around and got a kill of their own. So yeah, I think that, you know, maybe that's Take the Lantern just knowing their compositions capabilities so perfectly.
No.
But it's playing with fire.
Yeah.
Either way.
I'm not letting you get away with complimenting them that much. I can appreciate, you know, 8th dimensional math, but there's no way they knew that they would exactly be able to bait in that perfect way and get away with it.
So it'll be interesting to see. Phoenix, to me, absolutely in the driver's seat this game, as we saw last game. But as Prowler pointed out himself, a much better situation for Phoenix, despite having a smaller gold lead this time, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, things feel a little more uncertain for them this time, at least from my side, because they don't have cornerstone Darien, at least not in his normal role. I mean, Shen has made 2 very good plays so far with those ultimates. So, in some ways this may even help into Darien's game plan more, where he can just live in the top lane until he's needed. But,
yeah, I mean, it gives him an extra tool to help the team when he's not even there, and an extra tool to join fights. But you talk about Shen, so much of a Shen's gameplay, a lot of the time, maybe not always, but a lot of the time, is split pushing. And we don't generally see Darien on that particular role.
Yeah, split pushing is not something that either of these teams have done too much. We saw Ace trying to do it a little bit, but most of it was just to get the minion engine going and then get back into the fight. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. I'm also wondering when Ace is going to start trying to get involved in some of these fights as well. He is level 9 now, but we haven't seen him really move from the mid lane too much. Mostly because he's behind currently, I'd imagine. But
yeah, he's not a very mobile champion.
When has that stopped him before, though?
Which I haven't seen him use. Actually, I think he used it immediately after dying to First Blood. But it is off of cooldown right now.
Yeah. And then this Xin has just been so impactful. 2 kills on him. It's really significant. Good to see that Nebulon is able to do something besides cheese Nunu. No offense, Nebulon. Just a little salty about that. Also a little salty I can't move this damn camera, so we're stuck looking at Jinx.
Yeah, right? I just tried to do that to see what the next Drake would be, and unfortunately
Next Drake is Earth.
Oh, thank you very much for that. So to me, that's even more helpful for Team Phoenix. That's another good snowballing Drake.
Yeah, I mean the Ocean Drake I think was really good for them, because now if they like all Ocean Drake plays, you have some sort of exchange, you're going to regenerate much faster. Mid lane's going to be even harder for Ace with that extra mana regeneration on the Morgana. And it's just going to be rough for... I mean, like any dragon is rough, but some more than others. The Earth Drake, we'll see what role it plays. It depends on how much more aggressive Phoenix wants to ramp this up. They could get... I imagine they're going to go for the dragon once it's available. Once they get another pick in the bot lane. Which, again, unless Take the Lantern actually manages to... change up how the bot lane is working, I think that is inevitable. But we'll have to see. It's also possible that Gotta Get Lucky just never has his computer work again. And they'll have to 4v5. I'm not sure how what the rules say about a disconnect. It's been a while since I read them, and I may have glossed over that section. But we'll have to see. So the current situation, for those of you who need a refresher when we unpause here, is Andy is currently all alone in the bot lane. It looked as though Evil Envy and Alonzi were rotating down to stop him from pushing the way he was. It looks like Maya's Ornn and Darien Shen are tussling.
Just wet noodle fighting up there.
Yep. Both with about the same amount of health. And Ace and...
Alonzi just spamming Ezreal taunt.
Ace and Morgana are pretty much equal. Hohenheim there in terms of at least health and mana, so I imagine they're going to be staying in the fight doing a little bit more. Nebulon is in an interesting position here. He looks as though he's about to go and try to take that red buff, assuming he has the timing down for that. But after that, he could try to go up for a gank again. He was doing really well with those ganks earlier.
Yeah, I think a priority for Phoenix here coming out of the timeout is that blue buff on the side of Take the Lantern will be coming up in the next minute or so. They should try to take that away from Ace, because we talked about, or you talked about already, Hohenheim having that advantage in the mid lane and having the Ocean Drake for the sustain. You can really pinion Ace's ability to wave clear in that mid lane if you take that blue buff away from him.
We have Prowler asking if we can point out the really deep control ward for Take the Lantern on bot side jungle. Which one was... Oh, the one, yeah. The one all the way down here that got to get lucky planted by red buff. Yeah, that's a good ward. That was back when I was thinking that maybe he'd be trying to take that red buff, but I think he was mostly just trying to plant that control ward. Typically not.
I mean, it's a great spot for a control ward. I've seen that happen, even in pro play, where you see that ward last a long time sometimes, because it's not a bush that you generally run through that often.
Yeah, that those brushes for sure need to get checked more. You know, don't necessarily look all over the map when you're moving, guys. To keep an eye out for control wards that are in sneaky places. And it'll be interesting to see if they're able to, you know, take advantage of that vision. Maybe they'll see that Nebulon is on the red buff and do something else with that. Because there has been a lot of fear that you have seen just passively coming out of both the top and bot lanes because they don't know where this Xin is. Because Xin is someone you have, despite Xin not necessarily being played on and off as much as you might expect, he's someone you got to respect when he is in the games. Did actually help win option 12 last split a couple of games for those of you who remember way back to that Baron fight.
I was not there, but I'm sure it was.
You were not there. But for the record, I said that they were going, that option 12 was going to reverse sweep, but then they did. So.
Channeling their inner Cloud9 from a couple of years ago.
Indeed. Apologies for the slightly long pause here, folks. Maybe when we put the video on YouTube, we'll put a put one of those markers that says skip to X time to skip the pause. Might be putting a little too much pressure on our YouTube cast here, but might be good.
Yeah. So, I guess moving forward now, if we want to get back to the game, it just feels like, and maybe I'm just overreacting to game one, but it just feels like Take the Lantern are maybe over relying on, you know, their ability to peg a lead back, you know, that we've seen them do so many times this split. But one of these times it's going to come back to bite them, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like if there is a game where it can happen, it's going to be this one. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm being mean to Darien here, but the fact that Darien is not on a champion that they normally do this strategy with, I think could cause them some problems. So we'll have to see. And with Alonzi on Leona, Leona is, I'm not going to say exactly like Alistar, but I think she's close enough that...
Similar playstyle, absolutely.
Yeah, that Alonzi could bring similar quality of play using her compared to Thresh in game one, which was still good play, but it was not the Alonzi, Alistar disruption that we're used to seeing, because that's just not what Thresh can do. But, you know, close range use of her ultimate, the ability to close and stun like that on a go-to, that's very powerful, and I think we'll see him use that to good effect when the game ever gets going again.
And with Anivia, I mean, she has an even longer initiation range than Alistar with that Solar Flare. You can launch that thing from much further away than the Headbutt Pulverize.
Leona, not Anivia.
Oh, yep. Sorry, I was reading chat. Yeah.
That'll get you every time.
The irony also, you mentioned the Darien on Shen, is that we're actually seeing Darien with one of the smaller CS disadvantages that we're accustomed to seeing with him, even though he is on this character that generally we haven't seen him play.
Yeah, very true. Prowler pointing out that Maokai actually has a somewhat similar kit to Shen these days. Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming with that, with Twisted Advance over Taunt. But, you know, at the same time, I feel like the utility Maokai provides in team fights is, I'm not necessarily going to say superior, but different enough with that, the huge roll-in, you know, roots. That,
and there's just a lot more crowd control to come out. Shen's is all about the taunt,
right,
whereas Maokai has a couple skills that can do, you know, knock people up, get the Twisted Advance. Looks like Gotta Get Lucky is back in the game here.
Now, what I will say is that if it ends up being an ADC fight, Shen's abilities will definitely help there.
Oh, great point. Absolutely.
So I think that the fact that if Evil Envy does end up getting fed, which, you know, I imagine he will. In fact, I mean, Sivir is not necessarily like the auto attack champion, but she does a lot with auto attacks. Once she gets, you know, sped up and things of that nature. Xin as well. So having Shen being able to make your ADC or your Xerath immune to that for a few moments, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about this AD carry potential duel, not so much duel, but both of them hitting from the backlines in team fights. Obviously, Jinx, in a literal sense, outranges Sivir. But when you add the boomerang into things, Sivir can be doing damage to Jinx when Jinx can't be doing damage to Sivir. It depends on geometry, it depends on placement, but it is possible, and that's something that is easy to underestimate about Sivir, as we are back into the game.
And last good point from Prowler before I stop looking at the chat for a while is that Sivir can deal a lot of splash damage in the fights that Take the Lantern really likes to do. We do see Darien getting aggressively out-damaged by Amaya now, though. I'm not sure what the whole context of that fight was. Ooh, a lag spike there. But, I mean, that's a lot of damage coming out of Amaya compared to what Darien can do.
Yeah, I mean, Amaya, as is, I believe, tradition with Ornn, maxing the Bella's Breath, and so if you sit in that, you will have a bad time. And Soul Shackle's coming up from Hohenheim in the mid lane. He's going to get the stun onto Ace. He's absolutely going to be able to finish him. There's the Tormented Soil and a solo kill for the mid laner of Phoenix.
Yeah, Ace needs to start respecting the Black Binding a little bit more, I think. He's been caught by that too many times.
Yeah, without Flash available, it's so hard to get away from that Morgana. She's such a good early game pick because she's so powerful in those mid lane 1v1 duels between the damage and the crowd control chain that she can put out.
We do have Nebulon being spied here, so Andy is coming in. Nebulon.
Oh boy, Andy. Good flash away from the Leona, but Nebulon is on the chase. Gregosaurus flashes over to protect his AD carry, and there's the Super Meta Death Rocket. They get onto Nebulon. He is so low, and there's the reset. Here's Darien into the back line now. Andy does take down Nebulon, but a huge call of the Forge God. They will finish off Gregosaurus, and now Darien to fall as well. A double kill for Hohenheim. He is off and rolling on this Morgana mid right now.
Really great play there by Gotta Get Lucky. Throwing that ult back and able to save Andy, essentially, because Andy was screwed otherwise.
Absolutely. But Phoenix, it looks like they will come out the victors in this fight overall in the end. They get 2 kills to 1, and they take that blue buff away, which we were talking about during the break being a key. There's very little wave clear to come out from Ace if they are relentless in this push now.
Yeah, unfortunately for Phoenix, the Dragon was not available. If Dragon had been there, that would have been a perfect 1-2 punch for them, but Dragon wasn't going to be up for another minute. Well, we'll see how they respond here. No vision on the Dragon from Gotta Get Lucky, or anyone else on Take the Lantern for that matter. So we'll see where it goes here. Ace being dead was a big part of that fight going poorly, because he was not able to enter it till the very end.
Yeah, absolutely. No damage to come out from the mid laner there.
Oh, Darien in a lot of trouble here. Probably gonna dash over this wall.
Yep, does have the Shadow Dash. But now he's going back to lane half health against Amaya, which you just pointed out has not been going well for him in terms of damage. This is the damage of Jinx, though, onto this turret. Take the Lantern might just steal first brick here. I think they're going to.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna catch up in time.
So much damage with that minigun and the ramp up from Jinx. That's a big play. Honestly, probably a big error from Phoenix.
Oh, they're trying Dragon here.
Ooh, this may be a bit greedy. They do have Nebulon on the top side, though. Actually, Take the Lantern would have had no knowledge of Nebulon being up there. I guess they saw him with Darien a moment ago. Looks like Phoenix are going to be content to trade this for the Rift Herald, although you do have 3 members pushing in. It's a 3v4 here in the bottom side. No teleport available for Amaya. Stand United and teleport not available for Darien.
They give up the Dragon, but the Herald is still going to go to Phoenix. Which they give to Nebulon again.
So I think Take the Lantern, if they had known that that was definitely going to be a 4v3, they probably would have been more aggressive there. But maybe they didn't have the teleport timer on Amaya. Oh boy, Darian could be in trouble here. Can he dodge? Oh, he dashes right into the Call of the Forge God. Has to pop the flash. Nebulon will walk away feeling satisfied with that mini victory.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate there.
Yeah, Darian just trying to predict the path of the ultimate there, I think, instead of trying to react to it.
And Darian's in a lot of trouble here. They're,
Yeah,
like
he could get straight up dove here. And a turret goes down in the bottom lane for Phoenix.
Bot turret goes down. Now they're popping the Herald.
Boy, I think Darian just has to get out of here, although he does have help coming. Gotta get lucky, and Gregosaurus are on the way. This Rift Herald will pretty much take the rest of this turret's health away, though, all by itself. Darian comes forward. And
they might save it here if they do save it.
For now.
Alright, so that went much better than anyone probably would have guessed. Good job rotating there. We'll see if Ace gets some help. They are spotting this as going to the dragon. Hohenheim is at half health. So we'll see how this goes.
I love this from Phoenix, though. They're just dragging Take the Lantern all over the map. They made them react top. They go immediately to the dragon, and I think they're going to pick this up. Right at the arcane coming out from Ace, though. He does spot it, and Hohenheim is at about half health. Can Andy unleash a Super Mega Death Rocket to potentially steal this? Phoenix have pulled it out. They have kept it alive. There's the Death Rocket, not going to be quite perfectly timed, and a Mountain Drake over to Phoenix.
Alright, 2 turrets down. Mid turret is also pretty low, so that's going to be 3 turrets in very short order for Take the Lantern here. Take the Lantern, Phoenix.
And this is just about the same size lead that Phoenix had at just about the same stage of the game as Game 1. But as we talked about, and as our faithful chat observers talked about as well, a lot more tools for Phoenix to push that lead this time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I would love to see Ace be a little bit more able to be involved in fights. He's basically been stranded in mid lane, either dead or just not comfortable enough leaving. He is down 30 CS. So Darian's 20. It's interesting how that is. Baron up in 1 minute. No vision on it from anyone. And no vision on Dragon. Another Ocean Drake coming out. So much more. The Ocean Drakes keep playing into Phoenix's game plan every single time. There is also...
Now, I don't think that Take the Lantern have to worry too much about an early Baron take from Phoenix.
Well, maybe, maybe not. Orns and Xin are both very strong right now.
That's true. The Xin Zhao, yeah, the Xin Zhao damage could make it a factor. When you have a mid laner like Morgana, though, generally that's not too great at taking down Baron. Sivir hasn't ramped up yet. But yeah, you do have the Xin factor.
It's worth noting that Take the Lantern is going to lose bans in the next game because of the long pause. So they really need to win this game, otherwise they're going to be at a severe disadvantage in Game 3. Well, they will be at a severe...
Oh boy, gotta get lucky getting caught. Lonzy gets the stun onto him. Ace trying to deter by zoning out that one path.
Enough
was down in the mid lane now for Phoenix.
Enough poke comes out. Andy may have stolen blue there. Ace may have wanted it. Ooh, gotta get lucky. He's in a lot of trouble.
Oh boy. I mean, this is trouble for Take the Lantern right now. They're caught in their own jungle, and Phoenix has the inside track on the mid lane. Gregosaurus is stunned up. They already used the Shen ultimate. Can they finish off this Gregosaurus? Actually, Tardis is going to go down. That's the reset for Andy. He flashes away from Hohenheim's Soul Shackles, and now they're going to take down this Morgana. That's a shutdown. Oh boy, they don't quite have the damage. There is Ace raining it in from the outside with the right of the arcane. Can Andy clean this up? They've got the slow onto Amaya. He's going to go down as well. Could this be that turnaround team fight we see from Take the Lantern so often? Evil MD is going to get away with the speed of the Scuttle Crab, but that's another turnaround from Take the Lantern.
Gotta get lucky. He was kind of blocking Andy there a little bit. But I have to say, another really amazing ultimate from Gotta Get Lucky. Just laser focus on that Xin, protecting his ADC.
This is going to be at least one turret. Probably just one.
Yeah, I'd say probably just one.
Timers are short enough that And actually, Tardis is jumping in here, but he is alone right now. Andy is focusing on Evil Envy, and they will all just walk away.
God, super fast Jinx is always so fun to watch when she gets excited.
Yeah, it's such a game changer, that passive. Can turn a team fight around, can turn a game around, can turn a series around in just a second.
Alright, so good ultimates from both tanks in this game so far. Darien saving lives, gotta get lucky. I just can't say enough how impressed I am with the ults he's throwing down.
Yeah, I think, yeah, gotta get lucky, absolutely, but we talked about Darien not potentially being as comfortable on this Shen, but his Sand Uniteds have been on point. Every single one has changed an entire fight or skirmish.
And not only that, but I mean, he's only down 15 CS. So
yeah, we're seeing relatively low CS numbers from pretty much everyone across the board. Actually, Nebulon is farming the crap out of this map right now. But other than that, everyone is quite below the threshold of what you might expect.
Yeah, but still big CS leads coming out of... Actually, everyone on Phoenix is up in CS over Take the Lantern right now. Support, bot, mid, jungle, top, all have a at least notable, if not significant, number.
So 3,500 gold lead. It's gone down about 1,000 from that last fight, and the subsequent turret take 3-3 in turrets.
Most of that gold's
all
on
outers for both teams.
Most of that gold is on Hohenheim. 2,000 of the lead is on Hohenheim, and the rest is on Nebulon.
That's a great point because, I mean, we've talked so much. Oh boy, this could be a lot of trouble for Phoenix. The bottom line is way too far up. It looks like Tardis is just going to try. Oh, great spell shield from Evil Envy, but he will get caught eventually anyways. And now Tardis is way behind enemy lines. I wonder if he'll just try to execute. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, though, nice response from Phoenix. They're trying to push down this mid lane. I don't think they have the minion wave to fully get it. Will they catch Andy? He is well ahead of his team, and he will get spotted out by a ward here. They will get this mid lane turret. I was wrong about that. Dark Binding is dodged. Can take the lantern, get anything else from this. They might have just... Oh, nice play from Gotta Get Lucky, cutting off the angle. And Maya-chan coming back in with the Call of the Forge God, but he will get destroyed before he can headbutt it back. So Take the Lantern, get 2 kills in exchange for losing their inner mid lane turret. Honestly, if you're Team Phoenix, you feel pretty good about that trade, I think.
Well, we'll see. I mean, gold lead is starting to close a little bit here. Now they're going for this dragon.
Yeah, Take the Lantern certainly going to get this one.
Well, we'll see. Hohenheim doesn't really have the kit to steal it, but they'll certainly try.
A little early. If the Tormented Soil steals it, I'm going home. Okay.
Yeah, and there's the question where you want to think, was that mid tower worth it? Because if you had all 5 available, maybe you could have stolen that, or tested it at the very least. But you didn't have that now, so they have at least one equivalent dragon to you, and that's
gold lead still hovering around 3,000.
Every advantage Take the Lantern needs. And we see Ace doing what he did last game, where he is split pushing, air quotes, just convincing the lane to move on its own, and then just head back home.
They have a cannon minion down there, so that wave will push very hard.
How much more CS can Nebulon get? The answer could surprise you. Well, we have a bit of a lull. Let's see if anyone has said anything interesting in the chat. Alright, so just a lot of stuff. Prowler doing more commentary, talking about how we need to keep that Tormented Soil line of yours ready for the archive of caster lines. Which apparently is something someone is thinking of setting up. Andy, a little alone. Does back off it. Good job, though. I don't like how forward you are now, Andy. You should go home.
Yeah, I mean, he does have flash, but I think that if he gets flashed on, you know, just as slow is enough that he will get caught up. Baron is available, obviously.
Next dragon will be...
pick from either team.
Next dragon will be another Ocean Drake. Oh, good route there. Waste of an ult.
One more Glacial Prison. This one doesn't land. Or maybe it did Black Shield.
Yeah, Black Shield saved it. Ooh. Good.
Black, Dark Knight on the back.
Good
Regisaurus takes a huge chunk.
And now we have the orange split push.
Well, if you take the Lantern, you're okay with a split push game, because with the Shen, you are always going to be at a slight advantage, all things being even, I suppose, with having basically 2 teleports versus 1.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to work that out. Gregosaurus is actually going to be really scary now that he has not only the Ocean Drake passive, but also Warmogs. Though Warmogs isn't actually going to be active for a long time, so that... Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong character. Whoops, never mind.
I was a little curious there, but I didn't want to...
Well, I was thinking, you know, wow, you know, Soraka seems to be regenerating health pretty fast. So I overestimated how much the Ocean Drake was doing.
Yeah, Soraka Warmogs actually sounds like a fully tilting combination.
Well, that's a ARAM build for me.
Ah, yes. Makes sense.
Alright, so some nice poke here coming out of Ace, forcing back the tanks. LNZ, I mean, you want to talk about tankiness. LNZ and Amaya are really nowhere near as tanky as Darien and Gotta Get Lucky are currently. Gotta Get Lucky is fully committed to being a meat bus, and he is succeeding.
Yeah, I wonder with the Iceborne Gauntlet choice on Amaya, I believe that is the standard, or at least one of the standards on Ornn. But when I saw that Glacial Shroud come out, I was kind of hoping that he might consider Frozen Heart because of how damaging that can be to that Jinx. On the Hunt is popped up the mid lane, and here comes Call the Forge God as well. Silence from Gregosaurus stops Amaya from being able to redirect that ult. That's a big play, and now Gotta Get Lucky is looking for something. He gets the Glacial Prison. There is the Super Meta Deck target. I still can't say that skill correctly fast enough, but Take the Lantern are turning it around. Right to the Arcane, comes in once again. Big stun comes out from Tardis to potentially disengage this fight. One day I will be able to say Super Mega Death Rocket correctly, but until that day, Andy is going to keep hitting him in a big way and Take the Lantern, pushing down the mid lane, looking for another turret.
Yeah, there have been a couple of really nasty plays against Amaya to prevent that Call of the Forge God from going effectively. They've stunned him, they've silenced him. All really painful things when you're an Ornn player.
And there is the Jinx damage, just destroying these structures so quickly. And now Hohenheim has to be careful. Gotta Get Lucky stepping forward and dashing away from the Dark Mining. So Take the Lantern. They counter the engage, they get the kill, and then they use their composition, just run down and get an inhibitor pretty much out of nowhere.
Dragon will be up in a minute, Baron up soon as well. No vision on the Dragon for either team. Gotta Get Lucky, still getting hounded. Should be able to get away though, he's got that nice dash. Then again, if he gets killed, taken out of control ward, that's his own fault. Nope, gets away. Sounds like Jeff's mic's having a little bit of issue again, so I'll just talk to myself. Getting that vision on that Baron's a good plan. I don't think that Phoenix believed they were going to go for Baron that quickly, but making sure they don't is really important. It's worth noting that even with that really impressive push down the mid lane, Phoenix does have more turrets.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are still in the gold lead, and they do still have a Drake advantage. They have a farm advantage. They have the tools to make fights happen. It was a brilliant disengage, I think, mostly on the side of Gregosaurus Rex in that last fight in the mid lane that allowed Take the Lantern to turn it around.
Meanwhile, Ace just continuing to push in the bot lane, make that lane work for him. Dragon is up now. Vision quickly put on it. Hohenheim's been really on top of that, so good for him getting vision on everything that needs it. I don't like the positioning on this fight. I would like Gotta Get Lucky to be a little more to the left. I don't think, yeah, Phoenix does not want this.
Yeah, I see where you were coming from, but looks like Phoenix was just a little bit afraid. Maybe after their last engage went so awry, some hesitation creeping into their minds now.
Yeah, I think if they really wanted that Dragon, they could have Forge Godded and probably stolen it. Because you can't underestimate how. Oh, okay.
Look at Phoenix going. I think that they anticipated that a lot of Take the Lantern would go back there, And they were right that Andy did, but scouting with the right of the arcane scares Phoenix off of it.
Yeah, I feel like Phoenix is having some issues now. I feel like losing that last game might be getting to them a little bit. And so they feel like it's happening again, and they're making some questionable plays, in my opinion, here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's just that last game or if it's just the knowledge of Take the Lantern and how they play and how it's happening for them again. Although this Call of the Forge God will land, they get it onto Ace. He is about half health already. Solar Flare comes out as well, and Ace is going to be taken down. They get Gregor Source as well. Now it is up to Andy to carry from the backline, and he is doing it. He's got a triple. He gets taken down by Hohenheim, though. It wasn't a triple, actually. Darian picked up 2 of them, but it's a 3-for-3 so far. Hohenheim and Darian just dueling. It's not going to go too well for either of them, I don't think. Got to get lucky. Doesn't get the stun onto Nebulon, and Nebulon dashes back in onto them. I think both of these duels are going to end up just going without a result. So it's a 3-for-3, and both teams have very little damage left.
Yeah, I was really surprised. Just look at... Okay, now I could say, look at those Warmogs, man. That's insane how quickly that heals up tanks.
Yeah, it's crazy. Take the Lantern. They're trying to pressure this turret with only 2 people, and they have to be careful because Hohenheim is still behind them. He has not recalled yet. And if they get picked off here, it could lead to a quick Baron for Phoenix. No minions left.
Anyway.
As Kenos would say, just leave.
Yeah. When I was trying to be mean to Phoenix earlier before that fight, my point was going to be that if they had wanted to quickly do a Baron after Take the Lantern did a Dragon, they should have sent someone to clear out the wards while they were posturing by Dragon.
And now it's Take the Lantern starting up the Baron. They will have just spotted that Phoenix sees it, though. Nebulon is on the opposite side of the map, but is not going down too fast.
Ooh, good route.
And gotta get lucky. He's going in again. Spell Shield is down from Evil Envy. He gets the Glacial Prison down, but here comes Call of the Forge God to cut off any reinforcements. Andy is solo. He gets hit by the Solar Flare and all the CC, but there's no damage to follow up. It's just Tardis in there trying to finish him off. Amaya-chan gets into on him, and Andy is going to survive that. Gregor Source flashes to try to keep his AD carry alive, but he can't quite do it. The Jinx is gone. Ace is forced to run away. Now Darian, can he rescue this fight? Gotta get lucky coming from behind. Nebulon is going to finish off Gregor Source. Amaya-chan with the CC, and there's Ace coming back. Gets another W down to finish off Nebulon. Now Darian is solo. Evil Envy forced away by the damage of Ace, and once again we have a fully even fight, a 2-for-2, and nothing is going to happen except a Nexus turret drops. That's a lot.
Yeah, big shout out to Gregosaurus for keeping Andy alive for far longer than Andy deserved to live.
Yeah, he got caught completely alone. He was seemingly chain CC'd for about 5 seconds there, but they just couldn't get any damage onto him.
Also, Darian probably should have Shen ulted during that fight, just for the sake of it. You know, sure you're going to get caught out doing it, but that keeps your Jinx alive for so long.
Yeah, just for the shield. I'm not sure if it was available at the start of that fight. Maybe you were watching, but
I just know it's available now. So
definitely. Just that shield would have probably turned that fight into maybe a 4-for-2 or something like that. Now you have Phoenix aggressing onto the Baron pit.
Clearing out the wards this time, though. That's good. But I like Take the Lantern strategy there, where we just need to stand on Baron because you guys are going to need to come to contest that, and then our super minions do the work. And the super minions did. Took down a turret.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about Take the Lantern's macro play, their meta play. They do it correctly there. Trade even, but get a Nexus turret. The inhibitor has come back up for Team Phoenix, so they've weathered that storm. Tardis face checking a little bit there, but not too afraid. Red buff just came up. That is such a big deal for a character like Jinx. To be able to run people down, already has the passive to do so. I wouldn't be surprised to see Phoenix try to contest this red buff if they see that it's available.
Oh, they're trying to go for Andy here. Hit him one time.
God, Andy's all alone. He jukes the first thing. There's the QSS, but they just don't have it. Where's the Shen ultimate?
There it is.
Source comes out. There's the Shen ultimate, but they do destroy Andy all alone. And now I think Take the Lantern. They do have a few people low, but they just don't have the damage for this fight now. Tardis does go down, but that is the least important target. They get 3. It's going to be 4. Gregor Source is going to get chased down here as well. This might be game out of nowhere for Phoenix as Andy just caught farming alone in the mid lane.
No, they don't have the minion wave. If they have the minion wave, that could have been game. What they will do is they'll go for Baron. They should get it.
Big play Good observation there on the minion wave. But yeah, just Andy far away from both Gregosaurus. Darian did put down the Shen ultimate in time, but it just wasn't enough.
Alright, so this is Phoenix's chance to turn this around. Ace wisely sniping here. Getting a lot of damage off, actually. Nebulon may have to run away.
He has 5 shots.
Oh!
One more? Oh, no. Okay. So he got the smite, but couldn't quite, didn't have enough left in the cannon to then try to steal the Baron.
But getting that Baron off of, almost wasn't on Amaya either, but getting that off of Nebulon is good. I mean, anything to keep the Xin weak.
Sure. And we've talked about many times League of Legends being a momentum game. Obviously, losing Baron, losing that fight hurts. But actually, Evil Envy is stuck in the pit right now, and Ace sees him, and Evil Envy is going to be tanking up this Elder... Oh my god, he gets hit by the stun as well. Gets killed by Gregosaurus' Star Call, actually. We talk about a momentum game. I didn't think the Nebulon pick was that big, but now, with Evil Envy being gone, and there being no smite, Take the Lantern are going to take this Elder Drake or force a very difficult fight. Gregosaurus gets rooted up, has to use the Wish. He will get out. Meanwhile, a turret goes down for blue side that's in the bottom lane. And here comes Teleport from Darian. They really want this. Hohenheim picks up Gregosaurus from a mile away. I didn't quite see how that one happened. Great job by Phoenix to delay this as long as they have. Nebulon is back alive. Can he get back to this in time? Taunt lands on to Hohenheim. They are sick of his shenanigans, but he will destroy Ace with the Soul Shackles. Now, Andy, it's all on him. Once again, Alonzi Tard is trying to get in onto him, but they have no damage. Nebulon dashing forward. It's going to be up to him to get onto Andy. He is going to destroy him, and now there's no damage left for Take the Lantern. Nebulon is just going to melt everyone else. Here, it's just the tanks. They can't do anything about this. Darian will get over the wall, and Gotta Get Lucky will do the same, but I think he will get run down here eventually by Nebulon. What a great job by Hohenheim specifically. They're delaying that long enough that Take the Lantern couldn't get the Elder Drake, and then Nebulon showed up to clean up the fight. Yeah,
that Elder Drake was far too durable for Take the Lantern. They didn't have the damage there at all. And what you see why tanks are important right there. That's a textbook example. Because they did not have the ability to take down Amaya or Alonzi. I mean, they did take down Alonzi eventually, but the sheer amount of meat that he had on his bones. And Nebulon's no slouch either, 3,300 health. All right.
Yeah, a bruiser in its full sense. I'm very curious. I didn't see how Gregosaurus managed to go down in that fight. But it seemed like he got taken down from a long ways away by Hohenheim.
Elder Dragon dealing a lot of damage, so they're going to have to be really careful about this. They do have Baron as well, but I believe most everyone with Baron on them died. So yeah, the only one with Baron left, I believe we got Andy, or not Andy, Amaya, and I think that might be a... Yeah. Alright.
Well, we've talked about it being early game versus late game in this series. It's great that we have these contrasting styles. We've reached just about 40 minutes here, but it's still advantage Phoenix.
Gotta get lucky. It's gotta get out of there. Getting caught is not something anyone on Take the Lantern wants right now. Phoenix has actually passed the kill threshold that we typically subscribe, 7,000 gold. So we're gonna have to see if Take the Lantern can make a miracle happen here.
Oh, on the hunt burn to disengage, actually, there from Phoenix. Maybe a little worried about getting caught by a Glacial Prison.
Yeah.
Gregosaurus gonna recall. Replenish that heal bot health pool. And they do land a Dark Binding onto Gotta Get Lucky, but no one is in position to capitalize. You gotta think Phoenix right now, any fight you take with that Elder Drake buff and your gold advantage.
True. I think on the other hand, though, they're a little bit... I mean, look at Hohenheim. Hohenheim is still getting chunked by literally everything. They don't want to lose Morgana here. Morgana does have her Hourglass available, but I think they want to use it for an ultimate, which Hohenheim can flash ultimate into. Now, the rest, everyone else seems to be doing fine against damage, but for whatever reason, Hohenheim is just not surviving well.
Well, he has no magic resist.
Right.
So every single one of those little pokes coming out from Ace is going to be a big deal to him.
Elder Drake is actually going to end, I think, before this fight gets too underway really at all.
Yeah, Phoenix have not been able to find a pick, during this this window when they had such a strength advantage. They do get the Dark Binding down onto Darien, and he is taken extremely low. Or not extremely low, but to half, which is a big deal for a tank. But Phoenix just not being very aggressive in this mid lane. They have Nebulon up on the top side. He ran through a pink ward, so he gets hit by a zap.
And Elder Drake's gone. Really good job holding there, take the lantern. I mean, just posturing enough that Phoenix is not willing to push in.
There's a lot of wave clear coming out from between Xerath and Jinx with the rockets. It's tough to get a wave in there. I have to give credit to Hohenheim on... Oh, actually, they're looking for a pick onto Ace. He's all alone. He's Zhonya's the Call of the Forge God, and then flashes away from the Solar Flare. Here comes Stand United. And it looks like Phoenix will just disengage. They get the flash of Ace in exchange for a couple of ults.
Yeah, that was stopwatch used there. I was gonna say that the one item Ace is really missing is that hourglass. So if he can pick that up, I think he'll be in a little bit better shape. His gold is currently at 1300, so not quite able to get over there yet. Baron is up in about 75 seconds. Gonna need to get some vision on that from both teams. Ace continuing to go lane to lane. Has finally caught up in CS. But look at the other CS leads in the other lane. 70 CS lead from Evil Envy. 120 from Nebulon.
Yeah, the danger here, though, for Phoenix is that, you know, a 7,000 gold lead is great, but it means a lot less at 43 minutes than it would have at 33 minutes. Because it really becomes about percentage gold lead at that point. Take the lantern, they're gonna get to 6 items here eventually. Andy is getting close. And at that point, gold doesn't matter anymore.
Well, we'll see if they're able to take advantage of it. Like I said, Phoenix doesn't seem able to take advantage of some of the leads they're having. Hohenheim has gotten a little bit tankier in the last couple of moments here. Just because his natural healthiness plus his Landry's Torment, of course.
I do have to give Hohenheim a lot of credit for staying so relevant late game as a mid lane Morgana. Morgana as a mid laner, generally you see being so powerful in the laning phase and in the early game. But her damage fall off is pretty substantial as you get into late game. But he's been able to continue to find big plays with both the Soul Shackles and the Dark Binders.
Meanwhile, health keeps going up. Got to get lucky at 4,100 health now.
Take the lantern. They are inviting the flank here. Knew that they had 2 members of Phoenix above them, but continued to push in.
This is an interesting push.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like take the lantern right. You have to know that you have this Jinx that is almost on 6 items. But I appreciate their willingness to be aggressive. Aggressive play is always fun to see.
Actually going to take the score screen away here. I mean, they have a poke team. They have a team who can literally stand back and just zap you. And while
Dark Binding does land, and here comes Call of the Forge God. Regosaurus gets the silence down in time once again, and they will root up a Maya-chan, but everyone else is going forward. Ace is solo, Regosaurus solo, everyone running for Andy in the backline, and he is deleted by Evil Envy. So is Gregosaurus. This is a 4-for-0, a whitewash fight, and I think this time it is going to be game. At 45 minutes, 50-second death timers for everyone.
Yeah, this has to be game. They don't have the minion wave quite yet, but they have enough durability, it doesn't matter. And the simple fact that, once again, the 7,000 gold comes back to bite you. There was just no real, like you said, everyone focused on Andy there, and there was no protection. Once Ace got grabbed, there was the moment to collapse, and they did exactly that. Darien...
Yeah, for me, Darien has to try to cut the minion wave here, but he's going for the characters instead, and that's, yeah. The only way you stop a push like this in this situation, I don't think it would have happened anyways, is to cut the minion wave. But it doesn't matter. Would have probably been a moot point. Anyways, 1-1, we're going at least 4 games in the LCUS finals.
Oh, man. What even to say about that? That was absolutely incredible. Good job by Phoenix keeping that lead locked down.
Just the persistence, just everyone understanding it's all about the Jinx. It's all about the Jinx. It's all about the Jinx.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Really well done with the coordination there. Nickel, Sig, you guys here?
I'm here.
All right. So, Nickel.
Bestow upon us your expertise.
Yes, Nickel. Give us some insight here. Where did Lantern go wrong?
So, according to my analytics, the problem that Taste the Lantern had in this game was
Okay, real talk now. I don't think they really. I don't think they really had a problem per se. It was actually kind of interesting to see because I think Kenos hit it right on the head. There was that Phoenix was playing very protectively throughout that entire game. They pretty much adapted to how Take the Lantern was played because they know that they had a macro play. They know that they were looking for some kind of opening or some cheeky way to get somebody in the back lines. And really, it didn't seem like that Take the Lantern was doing any of that shenanigans, but they were playing a very protective game, and something that Phoenix doesn't really do is like they played to the late game, and they were able to stick it out. They were able to hold their lead. They were able to just keep clawing their way further and further away from Take the Lantern, and it worked, quite honestly. But Take the Lantern was not being a pushover themselves. They were able to like hold out. They just awesome defense. Well done by both teams. This time it just happened to go to Phoenix. I was actually kind of surprised because it looked like that Take the Lantern was going to be doing another turnaround at certain points of the game, but it just came down to that they realized that, hey, we need to get rid of this Jinx first and foremost. And by God, they did. That was, oh, Lord. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think focus is a big part of it on both sides, and hopefully, once again, both sides can focus up a little bit. You know, Phoenix gotta be loving the fact that they took that first win, and maybe they'll be able to carry that forward. Lantern maybe wants to go back to something a little bit more basic. Not necessarily going to blame the Shen pick, but I think missing the disruption and knockups that Malphite and Maokai added was a big part of it as well. So we're going to do a quick break. We'll hear Sig's thoughts on that last game when we come back. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few moments.